Hi, guys. Cecile Edwards here of the Mommy Matters podcast. I have to tell you, if you have not heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Did I tell you that you can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download your Anchor app or go to Anchor FM, anchor.fm to get started. You will not be dissatisfied. Welcome to the Mommy Matters podcast, where Mommy Matters is a double entendre that states and declares that mommies matter, where we have conversations surrounding mommy matters, from conception to pregnancy to postpartum, mother and father wounds, dating, mindfulness and self-care, spirituality, parenting, discipline, legislation, money, and so much more. It is my hope and my prayer that the information that you gather here serves as a blueprint for generational and individual ascension. Enjoy. Welcome to the Mommy Matters podcast. Happy New Year. I am so glad that you are here with me today to listen to my episode and to hear my musings about life. Today is a special day because for the new year, I wanted to really talk about my MommyMagic Handbook, a mother's guide to practicing self-care and destroying some generational cycles. So we're going to talk about that, but first let me introduce myself. My name is Cecile Edwards Awotaroche. I am a mommy mentor, a mommy magic maker, self-care coach, postpartum doula. I have over 12 years experience as an educator. I am also trained in aspects of cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm a Reiki master. I love to read and I love to research, and I am an observer of life. I'm the type of person that you will see sitting at the mall, staring at everybody as they walk by. Okay. And so all of my experiences as an educator and doing holistic wellness practices, etc., have brought me to this culmination of writing this book called the MommyMagic Handbook. And so I just want to share with you, which, by the way, you can get on lulu.com. It's independently published, and you can get it on lulu.com, and you can just search for the name, or you can go to bit.ly/Mommy Handbook. So that's bit.ly/Mommy Handbook. So today I wanted to sort of give you an introduction and talk a little bit more about what it is, where it came from, how it came about. And I really want to read with you the foreword about the book and have some insightful revelations with you about it. And hopefully you'll share some of your thoughts about what I read in the comment section. So let me read the foreword to you. The foreword says, "Mommies, it is time. It is time to reclaim yourself, not just for yourself, but to set an example for future generations. There are some things that may have clouded your magic, but you have it inside you, ready to unleash. Oftentimes, we are sold a particular story about what life should look like, who we should be, and how things should be done. And these prescriptions may assist you in navigating the world to an extent, but it is what is inside of you that you must become comfortable with in order to find your own healing and build legacy. The journey to your healing is a blueprint for how to nurture your children, passing on critical life lessons through emotional intelligence, spiritual understanding, compassion, and intentional living. It is my hope that this book offers you the necessary tools to encourage you to do the necessary work to unravel yourself with the understanding that what you do will filter to your children. So that in essence is what the book is about. It is about the work that we do, the inner work, the mental work, the spiritual work that we do as parents, that specifically mothers, that filters into how we teach our children. I'm going to give you a specific example. I will never forget a time when my daughter loves to bake. I have a 10-year-old daughter. However, I've mommied many children as an educator and as the various capacities that I've worked in as a nanny, postpartum doula, etc. And some of those, when I can remember experiences when I was less in tune with myself and how fearful I was around being around children. It was like I was afraid of messing with their ability to grow and develop because I had not done my work. This is in the beginning, way back in the day. Okay. Now I have no reservations because I know who I am. I know what my values are. And I know what kind of legacy I desire to leave with the families, the children that I work with. Anyway, I remember very clearly, this was maybe a year ago. My daughter was practicing. She has the goal and the dream of going on a baking show to win a baking show, bake something and get some award because she likes to bake. So, of course, I indulge her curiosity and I allow her to do that. And so one day she became frustrated because she had not baked something. It wasn't coming out right or something like that. And I feel like she came to me, she was crying, she was frustrated. I feel like if I was not a well-developed person at that time in my life, I probably would have just been like, oh, that's so sad, I'm sorry. But in that instance, I said to her, I looked at her and I said, do you see the people who are on the television show? Do you see them saying that they're going to give up, or do they continue to find ways to fix the problem and try to win? And you could see her entire disposition change when I said that. And she was like, okay, stop crying, went to the kitchen. And I tell you, she made some of the best cupcakes that she had ever made because of that. And in that moment, I taught her a powerful lesson about resilience. I taught her a powerful lesson about continuing to strive and try, even when things don't go the way that you think that they should go the first time. And I think that this is a critical thing to learn and understand. And if you follow my work, then you know that I talk oftentimes about the inner work that we have to do as individuals in order to usher and guide future generations in powerful ways. So that my definition of self-care is around the work that we're doing in ourselves, the emotional, mental, spiritual work that we're doing in ourselves in order to usher things forward. And I can remember times when I wasn't feeling so great about myself. I was on the heels of depression or anxiety. And my response to people and things were very coming from a give up stance. Now that I have more relationship with resilience and hope and those things, I have a completely different response. And that's just one of the ways that I have shifted my ability to build legacy. Because oftentimes some of us don't come from families that are very positive. And I know I came from a family that's very judgmental, not necessarily very positive, etc. And so that's something that I have healed within myself and continue to heal. And I'm very aware of within myself that I'm able to now pass on, not just in word, but in deed. I'm able to show the children that I'm around. I'm able to show the families and the parents that I'm around what resilience looks like in the way that you communicate, in the way that you interact, in the way that you live your life. Resilience It's not just a word. These are not just words. Joy, that's not just a word. It's the way you act. It's the way that you have seen it in life. So the Mommy Magic Handbook, a mother's guide to parenting, self-care, and destroying generational cycles, gets a little bit into these things and to think about it. I call it kind of like an introduction to these issues. I know that there's going to be a second edition. It's going to grow. I know that. But this edition now is, it gives you an introduction into what I mean when I say self-care, what I mean when I say intergenerational healing, all of those things. So now let's look at and all of this comes through your own unique blueprint. So my introduction goes a little bit into the concept of mommy magic. So I'm going to read a little bit of it to you. And so hopefully that you can listen and glean something from it and respond. Please do respond in the response section. So the concept of mommy magic is one that was inspired by my understanding of what is required to be a mother. The simple requirement is living in your unique magic. Some will be turned off by the word magic as it is thought to be some sort of sorcery or whimsical use of forces of nature. While many consider magic to be whimsy or fantasy, I prefer to use the dictionary definition that recognizes magic as intentional knowledge, connection to life cycles, and presence of mind that one must have to practice the art. Mommy magic is synonymous with that because when applied through self-care, one must be intentional with one's life, aware of one's cycles, and have the presence of mind to live authentically. Your magic is your uniqueness, your calling, your je ne sais quoi. Your magic is that which you add to the world that you've conjured through life experiences and reflections. This magic often looks like poise through life storms, constant exploration of life, participation in healing reflections, self-love, manifestation of your deepest desires, and anger at injustices in your family and the world, just to name a few. While we come to earth with our magic already in place, oftentimes we forget that we have this magic. Our magical essence can get muddled due to traumas, physical and emotional pain, negative experiences, and trying to meet others' expectations for our lives. Unfortunately, we are taught at an early age that our magic is not important. We are taught how to use our magic to achieve we are not taught how to use our magic to achieve our soul's desires. Instead, we learn that our magic is secondary, that we must fit in to be what others, including family, perceive, or overwork, all of which take a significant toll on our magic. Many of us are accustomed to seeing our mothers, grandmothers, aunties, and other women in our lives and society take on tasks and roles that they didn't even want to just to please everyone else. They often work to make a living doing tasks that drain their magic just to pay bills and keep up with others' standards. While observing them, we internalize this way as the standard of living. Essentially, we have been programmed into doing things we have no interest or desire to do to please everyone but ourselves. Perhaps we go to events, cook meals, sign up for volunteering, and many other tasks because we feel obligated to do them, not because we have a keen interest and see a strong value. We may also speak to people we are not interested in, live in places we are not connected to, and attend colleges and major in subjects that we're not excited about. Some of these examples are very common and primary drains of our magic. So then I go into some of the magic draining activities that we may participate in. And then I talk about the definition of mother. So I say mother in its many variations, ma, mama, and mommy is one of the most spoken and universally recognized words on the planet. This recognition and universal understanding gives the word potency. Currently, it seems there is a mixture of adoration and confusion given the number of single-parent homes, mothers who are exhausted, lack of communal support, and myth of a perfect mother contribute to these confused feelings. The constant pressure for women to be perfect in their parenting often clouds the truth of what is really required for effective parenting, which is living in your magic. The disconnect between the reality and the expectation of motherhood causes a depletion because prior to motherhood, no one tells a woman that her effective parenting will manifest when she is true to her own magic. So this book will illuminate how to connect with motherhood in a way that energizes you instead of depletes you. Okay. And that it goes on to giving the 5 points of what this book will do. So I say we can access and recognize our mommy magic more clearly and intentionally once we are aware of and release personal and generational baggage. This requires you to question everything and be bold in your questioning. It begins with a few steps. 1, accessing your magic is the work of undoing that which does not serve your highest good. 2, living in your magic requires releasing prescribed ways of thinking about yourself and your power. 3, developing your magic calls for you to explore from within you that which you seek from outside. 4, recognizing your magic blossoms when you realize that what you judge others for, you judge within yourself. Unveiling your magic is literally DNA surgery because the lessons you learn and live will be passed through you to future generations. Okay? So these are just some of the steps to recognizing and unveiling your magic. It's a process of evolving through self-evaluation and doing things a little bit differently than you may have been taught and seen. And so that is just some of the introduction. I didn't want to read all of it to bore you, but Mommy Magic is a powerful way of seeing who you are, seeing the issues that may have affected you in life, to see how you are the creator of your life, and that is okay. So some of the chapters are in this book are what are negative generational patterns. So I talk about that, recognizing, interpreting, and healing patterns that are blocking your full magic. Generational healing, starting with you, the mother wound and how it affects your magical expression. Releasing overwork, implementing self-care to activate mommy magic. Why and how your self-love activates mommy magic. Okay, self-love, self-care, and mommy magic are all rolled into one. They're friends. Removing self-punishment, embracing self-care as self-love. Emotional wellness is mommy magic. So I talk about some emotional wellness tools and techniques and the power of your thoughts and words. Because oftentimes I will hear mothers speaking a certain way. And one of the things that I talk about is laying hands on your children. As a Reiki practitioner, I understand the power of intention. I understand the power of energy, and I understand how to send positive and beautiful energy to yourself and to your children. And so I share some of those tools and techniques in there. And so that is basically the Mommy Magic Handbook. I think that it is a good guide. Some of the things may be a little bit difficult for people to understand, maybe depending on where you are. You know, nothing is ever understood by everybody, right? But I think that this book is important because it gives context, perspective. It also gives a spiritual perspective as well, right? For some of us who may get bogged down by certain religious prescriptions about parenting without getting really in-depth understanding about how do we think about these things? How do we perceive these things? How do we consider these things? How do we change these things? Right? Because we always hear about obeying our parents in or disciplining our children. But we have to think about how we're creating a situation and a legacy where there is a building together as a family, and how the mother oftentimes is the natural leader in that process. Very critical. So I wanted to share a little bit of that with you and invite you to get the book, of course, at bit.ly/mommy handbook. Or you can go to my website and find it, www.mommyevolve.com. If you would like a PDF version, you can also go to the same website, the bit.ly/Mommy Handbook, and I will email you the copy, the PDF copy. Unfortunately, Lulu doesn't do it. It does the EPUB version, but you should be able to download EPUB, or if you have an account at Lulu, it will have it there in Lulu, and you can read it there. I did self-publish, and so I have different avenues. I will be re-releasing it. I can't say soon because I have a lot of events coming up, but I will re-release it on Amazon, etc. I want to do something different. That's just me and how I am. Okay. So with that said, I hope that you are able to use some of these MommyMagic Handbook considerations to think about some things, right? Because you don't have to struggle in parenting. You don't have to hold on to some of the negative legacies, and you can create a new legacy for yourself. Absolutely. That is your magic. If you see it and you know it needs to change, that's part of your magic. That's part of what you need to bring into this world. And that is perfectly fine and powerful. I hope to get some comments today about this and to engage in conversation. Please stay connected via my newsletter. You can go to bit.ly/sign up mommy to sign up for my newsletter. I send out emails regularly to my following, I guess you could say. I send out emails to discuss pertinent issues. So please sign up for that there. And I look forward to continuing to correspond with you. If you have any suggestions for any topics that you would like to hear, I would love to hear from you. Please email me at momevolve. That's momevolve@gmail.com. Please email me at those emails or that email and let me know what it is that you would like to hear about, what subject matter, what topic is burning in your mind that you want to hear, or if you'd like to be interviewed. We have superb interviews here on the Mommy Matters podcast, and I want to definitely do more interviews. I have a couple of them lined up for you that you will be hearing next month. I think next month for February, I'm going to do some kind of women's history compilation and discussion. You all know I like history. If you don't know, now you know. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and I look forward to having you listen again. Take care. Happy New Year. Let your resolutions be bright. In fact, I just did I'm about to add a blog about resolutions and how they are actually self-care. So take care. Peace and love. Did you like that? I know it was as informative for you as it was for me. Look, this is a process for all of us. And to keep this process going, I would love to invite you to donate to our podcast. We want to continue to give you high-level content, beautiful content that enlightens and inspires and broadens your vision to elevate you and evolve. So please feel free to go to the podcast page at anchor.fm/Mommy Matters. We would love to hear your questions and comments as well so that we can discuss them in future podcasts. And you can email that to momevolve@gmail.com. You can also visit the website and send your comments there. www.mommyevolve.com. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Peace and love.